right there. Hello everybody, my name is Strike Alpha and I am here casting my friend Your Messiah's game. He's going to be playing Yasuo with the red team along with Riven, Zach, Ziggs, and Swain. They are going to be playing against a Quinn, Kane, Twitch, Zed, and Lux on the blue team. So, just going through, let's go ahead and start with the basics. Let's look at these team comps. Right now, it looks like the blue team is going to be going straight up pick comp. That's like the best way I could really describe it. Just because Quinn, Kane, Twitch, Zed, and Lux even all have the capacity to burst down their targets pretty quick. So we should be looking for either a lot of picks or a lot of split pushing later on if the teams remain even. Meanwhile, on the red team, there's a little bit more of a standardized team comp. Standardized as in
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Standardized as in there are tank lines, there are back lines, there are people trying to get through the front line. I'm going to say doing quite a bit of damage in a long-term situation. They have Zach and Swain to do all the tanking for them. Ziggs has quite a bit of damage coming in from the back line. Meanwhile, Riven and Yasuo are going to be in there with Swain and Zach doing as much work as they possibly can before the end of that fight. So, in terms of mid-game situation, if both teams remain even, if red team decides to start to group up, there's a pretty significant chance they should be able to do quite well in those team fighting situations. Of course, that is all dependent on if both teams are even. We'll see whether or not that is going to be the case around the 15 to 20 minute mark. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and start talking about these individual lane matchups here. Starting off, we got Quinn and Riven in top. Personally, I like to think that Quinn is going to win that matchup. Mainly because I'm a Quinn player and I know what exactly I do to fight that Riven myself. And in all honesty, that is a pretty chill matchup in my opinion. Just because anytime Riven thinks she's about to go in on Quinn, there's a quick vault, there's a blind. Riven can't get off her empowered auto attacks. Oh, and we got a flash in mid. Ziggs playing a little dangerous with this Zed. But, I mean, at this point, it's okay. He has not died, although, like I said, it is probably not great for him that he flashed just then. But anyway, meanwhile, it looks like we might be getting something in bot real quick. Swain going in, but it might be too late. Lux goes ahead and gets that first blood on the Yasuo in bot lane. But anyway, Riven's going to have to be patient, and it looks like this might be the end of Ziggs. There's a flash coming in from Zed. He should be able to throw a shuriken, but his shuriken just wasn't available for that instance. So that will be a recall for Ziggs, and he'll be on his way back shortly. But anyway, yeah, in terms of Riven trying to win that matchup, it's going to come down to her being patient. She's going to have to farm her tower. There's no getting around it. And if she can manage to do that, and not really sure why Yasuo's going in so far. Swain isn't really helping him. And he gets caught with the foot binding. That is another kill for Lux. Not great. Not a great start for the Yasuo. But yeah. Anyway, let's go on to the next matchup. We got a Zach and a Kane. In this situation, I think I have to give that advantage to Kane, just because he's going to be he's going to be able to get those camps a lot faster, and as a result, he should be able to have a higher impact on the game. Oh, and this is what I'm talking about. That's why the Quinn is going to beat the Riven. But anyway, if Kane isn't necessarily if he doesn't necessarily remain active throughout the course of this game, or at least the early game, Zach is going to be a lot more useful in those team fights moving forward. Also, Kane is gonna need to try and figure out how he's going to. Oh, and looks like this might be a little dangerous for Yasuo. I'm not really sure why he hasn't waited for the wind wall. And Swain is so far back. This definitely is not gonna work out for him. And that's a kill for Twitch. Not really sure what's going on in this bot lane, but there definitely seems to be some communication problems going on. Anyway, here comes Kane coming through with a quick dash. Ziggs pops that barrier. Kane unable to really get too much more out of that. Meanwhile, Zach's coming through. He goes ahead, throws down that Ignite, and gets the kill on Kane. I didn't even know he took Ignite. That might be more of an accident, because I don't expect jungle camps at this point. Because he doesn't have Smite, and he can't use jungle items. And again, from personal experience, I know that it is not fun to try and jungle camp, or try and go through jungle camps without an actual jungle item. You get less experience, and you take a significant amount of damage compared to what you would normally have to deal with. So I might have to change. Definitely doesn't look like that's gonna be good for Zach, and at this point I'd have to say Kane is gonna have that advantage hands down later on in this match. Going to this mid lane matchup, it's gonna be Ziggs versus Zed. Been seeing a little bit of that matchup go so far. Zed is completely able to kind of own that lane. Ziggs kind of goes in, he tries to do some stuff, but he's unable to really do too much as Zed does quite a bit of damage immediately coming out of the box, I guess we could call it that. Oh, and the vault. This might not be great for Riven. One attack is all it really took to kill, but meanwhile in bot we had Lux and Kane going ahead and getting that Inferno Drake. Definitely going to be super helpful for a team that's going to be reliant on picks. Meanwhile, we got Riven and Quinn going at it again. Oh, and Zach is here to help. This should be pretty good for Zach. He should have gotten a little bit more out of that, but can't help it sometimes. You say good stuff on Zach to come and help out his Riven. Anyway, but yeah, Ziggs currently doesn't have his barrier. He has his flashback, but Zed also does have his ult. It's going to be pretty interesting to see if the Ziggs is going to be able to kind of keep a concerted offense, I guess, in this lane, or at least be able to continuously CS. Because right now it seems like it's actually pretty difficult for him to kind of get anything in edgewise. And finally, let's talk about this bot lane matchup. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Oh, and we got an ult by Zed in mid. I was going to say Ziggs taking quite a bit of damage, but this should be it. Oh, and the barrier comes down, and it's able to tank the entire Ignite ult as well as the Zed ult. Ziggs getting out with just the skin of his teeth, essentially. But yeah, we're seeing this bottom lane matchup right now. Yasuo's not doing all that hot. He's down 0-3 to Twitch and Lux, both people who are pretty. They can be pretty scary later on in mid game. But I mean, there still is a chance for them to come back. Yasuo's do have the capacity to kind of do their own thing once they get a few kills, just like say a Master Yi or someone like that. And here we go, we got a Kane following after Zach. I'm not really sure this is a good idea on his part, because now the team is converging. Yasuo's throwing down his wind wall, trying to stop anything coming from Lux, and Kane, he's not getting out of here. Let's say that's going to be a kill for Ziggs. Meanwhile, Swain's going to be chasing after Lux, trying to get a little more damage down, but he's not going to follow too much further after that. Oh, and we got the Riven with the flash. This might be a kill for Riven, but she's going to burn her ult, and she's not going to be able to get that kill. Although Quinn is still there, and she might actually get the kill, and she does. Exactly. Like I said, it's... Oh, man, it looks like Swain's going to be going down. I got caught with the foot binding, and that was essentially that. Yasuo going back to try and protect his tower. Right now, first tower is still available, and oh, okay. First tower still is available, so it would be good for everyone. And nice flash by the Ziggs, getting that kill on Zed. It's a nice flash in along with the bomb, and here comes Yasuo coming through with the ult. He should have threw down that wind wall, maybe he didn't have it, but one way or another, Swain is going to be able to get that kill. Meanwhile, in mid, Zac is going to follow up and get the kill on Kayn. Things are starting to balance out a little bit. I'm going to say I failed to take into consideration that Zac does have quite a bit more impact on ganks when it comes down to it. Kayn is able to throw down damage and offer a slight bit of CC in terms of his slow, but nothing says CC like a Zac. So yeah, that probably is going to be, even though he is at a massive disadvantage in my opinion, just because he doesn't have Smite, and it's going to be really interesting to see the red team going for objectives. Definitely got to say that Zac will be more useful later on, and he's definitely showing that now, being 2-0-1. He might be one level behind his Kayn, but he's definitely showing a lot more of an impact in these lanes early on, especially considering. Oh, and here comes Zac again, and this pretty much should be a kill for Riven. Meanwhile, Kayn is coming up. He's trying to fight these two off, but I don't know if this is necessarily a good move on his part. Riven is level 8. Kayn is level 6. Quinn is in behind or in Valor form, but that's not really going to be a good move. And here comes Zac, and she got a little too greedy, and as a result, Quinn is going to go down, and Kayn is going to try and get that kill on Riven, but it's not going to be enough. The CC from Zac was too strong. Meanwhile, here comes Zed. He's coming in. He flashed in, threw down that death mark, and that should be the end of Riven. It is. Meanwhile, in bot lane, there is a tower going down. First tower blood, I guess. First structure. That's going to be a kill for the blue team, or a goal for the blue team. Anyway. Meanwhile, it looks like Ziggs is going to be able to throw down that satchel charge and get that kill. Oh, and Ziggs, I don't know why Yasuo went in on that. That turned out pretty bad. But hey, you gotta try, I guess. Alright, so, looking at where things are right now, 12 minutes in, it looks like blue team currently has a little bit of an advantage. They have a 3k gold lead over the red team. Definitely good for a pick composition. Also, they have a Infernal Drake, also helping with that pick composition as well. Most of that gold is going to be spread pretty even. Oh, and here comes Ziggs and bot. It looks like Lux is not going to be getting out of this. Swain gets the kill, and now Yasuo's going after Twitch. He decides to back off, and it looks like things are gonna slow down for a second. But yeah, Inferno Drake definitely is gonna be helping out the blue team in terms of keeping that advantage. There looks like there might need to be a little more help coming in for Riven. She still is gonna be behind by a little bit. In fact, she's behind by around 500 gold. But it doesn't take much to make that difference up. And almost as if Zed, oh yeah, Zed did know what was going on. Thank goodness for blue wards that are super deep. Anyway, and it looks like Quinn is going to go ahead and get that top turret as well. You say turrets are, they're not even, but at the same time, it looks like red team has lost all of their outer turrets. So we are going to see what the red team is going to do moving forward. Now is probably the good time to try and go ahead and and Zynius goes down on Zac, but it still looks like he should be getting ready to dodge to the Zed. He is. Meanwhile, Yasuo gets another kill, or he gets his first kill, thanks to the Zac's ultimate. Really good. At this point, I think red team should probably consider starting to group up definitely be super helpful, especially considering, like I said, they have a better team fighting composition than blue team. We say blue team throws out the damage, but they won't necessarily be able to do all that much if there's a concerted group of people going after them, as well as much CC as the red team currently has. So we'll see if they decide to start grouping up. Right now, it looks like there's a little bit of a push in bot lane, however. So it looks like Swain is going to go to intercept that. Try and hold these guys off. He's also asking for us help. I don't know who's necessarily in a good position, because right now it looks like Riven and Yasuo are about to flank this Quinn. And Quinn is gonna actually get away. Oh, no, she isn't. She got caught by the Riven. Oh, and that is definitely going to be a little more helpful for the blue team in terms of team fighting. Meanwhile, Yasuo goes ahead, throws down that ult, unable to get the kill on Kane. As a result, Kane and Zed, after he roams up top, gets the kill on both of those guys. Meanwhile, Swain bursting down the Twitch. We say Lux is trying to run for her life. She should be good, however, she's going to be running through quite a few wards here, and she gets caught by the Zac, and that is going to be the end of that. We'd say Swain able to make it out just barely, getting out of the range of the Gromp. I'm going to say, always fun to be scared that jungle camp is going to get that last hit on you. But yeah, with Kane going darken mode, it definitely is going to help the team fighting prospects of the blue team. Meanwhile, it looks like Ziggs is going to be running for his life. He's not going to be able to get out of this. And the death mark goes down on Ziggs, but not enough damage is able to go down. Kane runs through a wall and proceeds to get that last hit on the Ziggs as Quinn was approaching. Like I said, the red team needs to start grouping up. If they keep staying apart like this, things will only go poorly for them. Zed has quite a few, or he has enough damage, I think, right now to be able to essentially assassinate most of the targets on the red team by himself. Save, say, Zac or Swain, because Swain is currently a lot more fed than I was expecting. Currently has a Rod of Ages. Oh, and here comes Quinn with Zed. This should be a dead Riven. It is a dead Riven. Riven caught off by herself. Meanwhile, in bot, looks like Swain is trying to work with Zac to get something going. I'm going to say a little bit of an ult going down. Zac taking quite a bit of damage as Twitch opens up with the spray and pray. Meanwhile, Ziggs throwing bombs, and whoa, that Ziggs ult, dead center, hit Lux and negated all of the shields that she had, and Zac goes in and gets that follow-up hit on Twitch to get that kill on him. We say, was a little worried about Zac. I didn't necessarily think he was going to be doing all that great, considering he doesn't have his smite, and it looks like this is a dead Ziggs. He's trying his best to stay away from her, but this pretty much is it. We say Quinn stays on top of him, and there's no running for that Yordle. But yeah, I say Zac is definitely doing his part for the team. He's currently 5-0-5. He only really has a Sunfire tank, but he's being very smart about where he's able to put his pressure. Meanwhile, in bot, we got a fight between Yasuo and Zed, but Quinn is here to help, and this should be a dead Yasuo. Meanwhile, yeah, no, there was no escape for him. Again, and this should be a dead Zed. And will Riven be able to go ahead and get the kill on Quinn? Looks like Swain is going to be working on that part. Meanwhile, Zac is going to stop Kane from going too far. But looks like Riven is going to get caught. Oh, no. It looks like Swain blew his ult up and was able to get the full kill on Kane. Meanwhile, Lux, even with that final spark, takes down Riven. You say Zac is going to break apart for the first time. Meanwhile, Swain's taking that turret aggro. He should be able to save Zac from certain death. Say that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Red team has to start moving around as a group. when they move around as a group, they have way better dynamics in terms of team fighting than blue team. So hopefully the red team will figure that out and start to apply that type of strategy to what they're doing moving forward. Now that Baron is going to be up in the next 20 seconds and the next dragon is up, which is gonna be a mountain drake, which will definitely be super helpful for them in terms of taking objectives and making sure things like this don't happen again.
Rampage.
Like I said, they can't be by themselves. But getting that mountain drake will make it so that if he must do something like that, he will be able to live a little bit longer. And here comes Zed going in on this Swain. This should be the end of Swain. Taking quite a bit of damage from the Zed. There's the death mark, and that is the popped Swain. Meanwhile, up top, Yasuo's going after the Quinn, able to dash through, and he should be able to live through that. So, good job on his part. Meanwhile, I'm not sure if Zac really wants to do this fight, but he does take them both back in the tower. Meanwhile, not really sure why Twitch stayed that close to Riven. He is going to go down. I don't know if Zac's going to be able to get him, but he is not. Looks like Kane is going to get his first bit of jello as Zac finally goes down. Going to say a little bit of friendly banter going on between Quinn and Swain. But the thing is, Swain is actually quite right. If he had, considering he is 6'2" and 4 as a support, if he were to be the one to get the CS in that bot lane matchup, it might not be a good sign for the blue team. But here we go. We got Ziggs throwing down assassin charge, getting a kill on that tower. Meanwhile, Ziggs is trying to run for his life. He realizes he has a bunch of angry people coming after him. Again, these are the things that should probably be a little more handled a little bit better by the red team. Here comes Zed coming through with the death mark. Ziggs pops his barrier, but there was no chance of him making it out of that. Meanwhile, Zac is trying to run for his life. He's taking quite a few hits from this Quinn, but he is going to be able to slingshot his way out of that situation. Meanwhile, it looks like blue team will be going for this Earth Drake. I'm going to say getting another dragon, securing another objective, and increasing their capacity to be around the map whenever they need to either push objectives in a split push situation or to pick off targets. Again, red team has got to start to group up at this point. I can't stress that enough. I'm gonna say if they manage to get together, this should be a pretty quick cleanup, and they by rights should also be able to win the game if they're able to do that. Because I could imagine a team fight going completely in their favor. Oh, and Quinn might want to keep moving. I'm not really sure if that was... Oh, and the wind wall comes out prematurely. That's definitely not a good sign for the Yasuo and Swain as they're running back. Meanwhile, it looks like there's going to be a little bit of a push in mid, but I'm not really sure. I think that was more of a lane equalizing thing. So anyway, just looking at some of these stats and some of these builds right now, it looks like Zac understands that the entire blue team is mainly AD. Not really sure this is a good idea of Yasuo. Yasuo goes down the wind wall and he gets caught out by the Lux, and there's a kill for the Twitch on this Yasuo. Lux quickly follows up with a kill on Swain. Meanwhile, Riven goes ahead. She runs in trying to get this kill on Kane. Ziggs will be the one to get that last hit. Meanwhile, it looks like this might be the end of Riven. She goes down, and Lux is trying to run out, but I don't know if she's going to be able to. It doesn't look like she was. Meanwhile, Zed is here for some fun now, and he misses the ult on the Zed, and Ziggs unfortunately pays the price for that. Meanwhile, in mid, Quinn is like, yeah, no, you guys can keep fighting. I'm just going to take this objective. Gets that tower. And now Zack is here to fight. I'm not really sure if Zack can win this fight by himself, though. Although, yeah. Oh, and nice. I don't know if this is a good fight for Yasuo. But Swain is there to help persuade Quinn to leave him otherwise. So that is good. Meanwhile, Zed looks like he wants to go ahead and get that kill on this Yasuo. Looks like people are forgetting that this is an objective-based game. They're just going for the kills, and now there might be a little buyer's remorse for this Zed as he fights both Riven and Swain at the same time and is unable to take either of them out. Mercy. And here comes Zack trying to get that Lux, but unfortunately he misses, and Swain and Zack both take quite a bit of damage. Riven able to go ahead and get through though. She gets the kill on this Lux. Riven is there, and we got the cell division by Zack. He's going to be coming back in. Meanwhile, goodness. Oh man, Quinn almost died. Oh, and Quinn did die from that. I'm going to say Zack coming in with a slingshot. This might be the end of Zack because he's getting peppers. He's getting peppered that entire time. Meanwhile, Riven flashes, or she jumps over that wall. She's running after the Twitch. She's within range. She sees where he's going. And that will be the end of Twitch. A very, very violent game here, or at least at this point. But yeah, blue team is up around 5.5K, but the problem with that is, maybe it might be 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. I can't do math sometimes. They might be up 4.5K, but I honestly do believe that at this point, the red team still can win the game with one good team fight. Blue team still needs to keep picking off their opponents. They're doing a pretty decent job at that. Quinn is pretty much flying around the map, and Zed is sulking in the shadows, waiting for, let's say, a Ziggs or a Yasuo to try and get some CS to catch up. So they're doing pretty good at that, but I think now the red team is starting to kind of implement a buddy system of sorts. And as long as they do that, they should mitigate the amount of picks that the blue team's going to be able to pull off. Meanwhile, and it looks like Zed and Riven are looking at each other, but nothing much is going to come of that. It's a good ward by... Oh, and it looks like we might be getting ready to have a fight here at this red buff. And Yasuo goes in. He lands that ult against the Lux. But it looks like Quinn is going to be cleaning up. She goes ahead, takes down the Yasuo. She takes down the Swain. I say Zack is trying to run for his life, but Kane is going to get that kill. Meanwhile, Riven is caught out by herself, and Quinn flies through. Meanwhile, in mid, Zed's just like, yeah, let me go ahead and take this inhib. But yeah, that might have been actually it. Blue team's gonna go ahead and take the Baron from that team fight. Not really sure what Ziggs is doing at this point, but looks like this is not a good sign for the red team. So Zed's gonna stay in the red jungle for a little bit, getting that blue buff, but yeah. Not really sure what the red team can do in this situation other than try and turtle. Especially considering the red team just got a second Inferno Drake. If they get this third, it's, well, I mean, it's not necessarily looking all that great with the Baron and powered minions coming into the red base. But it definitely will not make things any better. Not really sure what's going on here. There's about 3 people in the fountain. No one's really moving. I know Riven disconnected, but I'm not really sure what's going on with everyone else. It looks like... okay, here we go. Riven came back. I'm not sure what's going on with everyone else, though. But... Yasuo is going to do his best to try and keep things pushed out in mid while... Oh, and we got a surrender. Oh well. Well, anyway, I gotta say that was a pretty interesting matchup. Nice to see another Quinn player doing her thing. She ended up finishing 10-4-7 and was pretty instrumental in that last team fight in terms of getting a easily accessible Baron. She spotted out the main targets that need to be taken down and was able to focus in on them and make things safer for the rest of her team. That being said, I would like to thank my friend Your Messiah for allowing me to cast his match. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. Say, have a great day.